Okay, so breaking news. Kellen Moore and the Saints officially hire an Eagles offensive coach who's been here for 10 years and has something to do with the offensive line. Meanwhile, the franchise tag window has just opened today. Will the Eagles make a move? Plus, talks continue to happen around the league about the salary cap going up bigger than ever. What does that mean for a GM like Howie Roseman? So much to break down, including ring fitting and the fact that Jalen Hurts has the highest completion percentage in 2 Super Bowls than any other QB. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you rock with the Super Bowl champs, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So it's been a week since the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and everybody in some way, shape, or form got to touch, hold, or take a picture with the Lombardi. However, that's not the only thing you win when you become a Super Bowl champion. You get a Super Bowl ring. It's going to say Super Bowl 59. I'm guessing it's going to have 2 Lombardis on it, as this is the second Super Bowl for our Philadelphia Eagles. Not every player getting a ring won 2 Super Bowls, but it is the franchise second one. So I'm thinking they're going to go all out to try to top 2017's. All I know is when they come out with a replica, I'm going to get me one. As for today, February 18th, the official window is open to tag players, although I don't think the Eagles are going to tag anybody due to the price tag per position. Remember, the lowest amount a franchise tag could pay is top 5 at that position. So let's circle linebacker first. If we gave it to Zach Bond, he'll be making over $27 million for that year. Let's move over to the offensive line. If we gave it to Mekhi Becton, he'd be making over $25 million. Let's move over to D tackle for Milton Williams, almost $23.5 million. And I know some of y'all are probably saying, where's edge rusher or defensive end? An important note per Zach Berman. The CBA does not distinguish between off-ball linebacker and edge rusher. The tag value for linebacker is based on the top 5 salaries for linebackers, and that includes edge rushers who are considered outside linebackers. So per the franchise tag, that puts Zach Bond and Josh Sweat in the same situation, right around $27 million. However, when it comes to negotiations, pass rushers normally get paid more than outside linebackers. Zach Bond does rush the passer during blitzes, but he played the majority of this season as an outside linebacker. So Howie can get a better deal than $27 million going to the table and treating him like a linebacker that we want to get for the next 2 to 3 years, especially with the last time we heard from Zach Bond when he was cleaning out his locker room. He simply said he wants to stay with the Eagles. He just hopes it all works out. We've heard that from a lot of our free agents. As Josh Sweat said, money is important. However, the right situation matters, which I don't believe there's more of a right situation than the Eagles. All that being said, Howie does have a lot of work to do. Let's look at the big ticket, Mekhi Becton, who actually got a Super Bowl tattoo, the second one. Isaiah Rodgers got the first tattoo. Now the big ticket, getting a Super Bowl tattoo. He's already posting to Twitter how he misses his guys. And Milton Williams said it after the Super Bowl and even during the parade.
Milton, I know you got some decisions to make in the future, but is this where you want to be?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, you see the type of team we got. We feel confident being able to do it again.
Now, just because they say they want to be here don't mean they'll take a big discount. Sports Track got them looking real cheap. I don't know how these numbers are real. Again, these are projected numbers. But Josh Sweat, 3 for 56.5. Zach Bond, 2 for 19.5. Mekhi Becton, 4 for 40.9. Milton Williams, 3 for 36. And Kenneth Gainwell, 1 for 1.6 million. Like I said, these numbers do look low to me. However, Smitty took a little discount compared to the wide receiver market to stay in Philly, so we will see what transpires this offseason. It only takes 1, 2, or 3 teams to get in the bidding war after turning on the tape for Mekhi Becton, Milton Williams, a Josh Sweat, a Zach Bond. Again, I think Howie's going to prioritize Zach Bond, especially with the status of Nakobe Dean, being that he might not be ready for the start of the 2025-2026 season, and that year being his last year due to the fact he's a 3rd-round pick. He don't get a 5th-year option. So I still think Howie prioritized Zach Bond this year, see how Nakobe Dean plays and maybe extends him throughout the season. And for the other three, we'll just see how much they really want to be a Philadelphia Eagle. Moving on to some breaking news, it is official. Kellen Moore is bringing Philadelphia Eagles run game specialist and assistant offensive line coach TJ Paganetti to the New Orleans Saints, which is interesting to me. He spent a total of 10 years with the Eagles. However, being a run game specialist doesn't trump Jeff Stoutland as the run game coordinator. And being assistant offensive line, he's probably learned a lot of good stuff from Jeff Stoutland, which Kellen Moore wants to bring to New Orleans. However, he's not Jeff Stoutland. So good luck to him. He's only 35 years old, but as long as we got Stout, I'm A-OK. And if I'm the Eagles, I'm letting Jeff Stoutland handpick the next assistant offensive line coach / run game specialist. As for the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach search in Philly, it's been quiet. I think Nick Sirianni is really leaning toward Kevin Patullo, not saying it's a good idea or not, although he did say everything we done this year was not just ran through Sirianni and Kellen Moore. Kellen Patullo was involved. He don't have play calling experience, though, which is worrisome. But remember, Howie and Laurie did say they will hold a couple interviews regardless. I'm just wondering why we haven't heard nothing in over a week. Flipping it back over to the salary cap, as we talked about free agents we need to sign. Plus, we've been linked to some trades, cough, cough, Myles Garrett, and there are going to be other free agents out there that we could end up signing. Brett Coleman tweeted, "The salary cap is going to explode again, and it's all because of the change in how Nielsen measures ratings." He continued to say, starting this year, they are leaning into using data directly from smart TV manufacturers to measure viewing habits in addition to the traditional at-home panel method. This means NFL ratings, in particular from Sunday Ticket on YouTube, are going to be more accurately measured, and that number is going to be way bigger than you think because of just how many Gen Z and millennials consume football on streaming services. More accurate ratings mean the league's next broadcast right negotiation in 2028/2029 is going to be way more expensive, which ultimately means massive jumps in the salary cap. Lastly, he said this, "If I'm a GM, that means next year or maybe even this year, I can sign some truly outrageously backloaded deals with a ton of funny money that all slams home in 2030 and not even care about the math." Again, not saying Howie Roseman will do it and things could fall through. You'd be banking on the future, but we've been known that the salary cap has been rising 15, 20 million per year. And if we get more data-driven metrics from streaming services, maybe it rises up 40 or 50 million around then. Just saying, if anybody's going to jump on any action as it pertains to the salary cap, just know Howie Roseman is front and center. Speaking of Howie Roseman, he files a trademark to protect "I bleed for this city." And it all really came from the fact that he was hit in the head with a beer can, and it left a huge mark. It was ridiculous. But instead of complaining about it, he took to the podium to say this:
"I bleed for this city! Go Eagles!"
As for Jake Elliott, who struggled for the majority of the Eagles season, he was perfect on Super Bowl Sunday, 16 points, most ever by a kicker, knocked a 50-yard field goal down, and then chugged some beers and kicked another. That crowd sounds like he's back to Jake the Make, and he was feeling it on Super Bowl Sunday as a kicker. He was feeling it on the parade day as a drinker. Let's flip it over to Jalen Hurts. Look at these career Super Bowl stats in 2 games. 525 passing yards, 142 rushing yards, a 73.3 completion percentage, and 7 total touchdowns. I say all that to say this: the offense was amazing in Super Bowl Sunday. But listen to this fan talk about the defense and the smile Jalen Hurts gave.
You kidding me? Wow! What an offense! How about that defense? Yeah!
He's glad to have a defense like that because in Super Bowl 57, he didn't. Staying with Jalen Hurts and Super Bowls, career pass completion. Jalen Hurts has a 73.3, as we just said, in 2 games. But that's number one all time for a quarterback. You got Troy Aikman, 3 games, 70. Joe Montana, 4 games, 68. Peyton Manning, 4 games, 66.5. Eli Manning, 2 games, 66.2. Tom Brady, 10 games, 65.8. Pat Mahomes, 5 games, 65.3. Russell Wilson, 2 games, 65.2. Nick Foles, 1 game, 65.1. And Matthew Stafford, 1 game, 65. Minimum 40 attempts. Put some respect on our quarterback's name. Now, before we get out of here, we always say thank you to the Giants for giving us Saquon Barkley. And I'm going to say it one more time. Thank you, New York, for giving us a guy who catapulted us to the Super Bowl. But we don't thank the Titans enough. They traded A.J. Brown because they thought they were getting the next A.J. Forgot the guy's name. Let me know in the comment section, but he's there on the graphic. 3 seasons apiece. 47 games to 27 games. 261 catches to 53 catches. 4,031 yards to 699. 25 total touchdowns to 1. My goodness, are the Titans regretting ever picking up the phone from Howie Roseman? With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Leave a comment. I absolutely love hearing from you. Drop the muscle emoji if you got anything to say. Do your boy a favor, hit the like, subscribe to the channel, share, all that good stuff. We will be going live more often. We'll have a bunch of free agency stuff and all that. And again, I think the Eagles are going to be busier than people think. However, decisions will be made soon. So stay tuned. Hit that notification bell. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.